Pleasant good morning. Reaching out to, of course, each and every one. Want to welcome Alan E.K. This is called Cruising with the Case Handler. And we're here today, ladies and gentlemen, going to be talking a lot about immigration. So make sure you keep it locked right now. Want to tell everybody, if you could actually start sharing, okay? Sharing what it is that you're watching right now. Alan, you can hear me, correct?
Yes, I can hear you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be joining 93.5 FM in a matter of 60 seconds or so. I am David Squeezaniki. I'm the host of this program. This program is with attorneys who are actually here to help a lot of people in several capacities. So just stay tuned, okay, as we get everybody together. Alan E.K. is one of the first attorneys to join us here on the show today. Alan is a veteran in the immigration capacity as an attorney and has done wonders for thousands of people. And we're looking for him to continue doing that right here on 93.5 WVIP FM and also beyond. So right now, as we get ready to join 93.5 FM, got to remind each and every one, if you are a member of groups and so forth, please join those groups. Please share the link that you're watching on Facebook with many others and let them know that we're here to answer your questions. Once again, immigration questions, place them on the Facebook page in a comment section, or you could actually call 844-774-3529. This entire show is brought to you by the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. Priors us do not guarantee similar outcome, but we're genuinely here to help people out there in the immigration capacity. We also want to remind you that the firm is not only about immigration, we're also about personal injury and more. If you get hurt in an accident, you will need to have the top man there at the firm when it comes to personal injury, Adam Handler, handling your case. He has settled well over $125 million for people who got hurt in accidents. So once again, the firm's number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Make the link, make the connection, and make it, of course, Adam Handler at the Personal Injury Department. He's a partner there at the firm ppid. Alan E.K., welcome again, man. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. So what's happening with immigration, man? I don't know if you want to bring us up to speed until our colleagues join us right here. All right. So what's going on in the immigration world?
Okay, there's a lot of things going on, but let me first start off by saying that if you're a U.S. citizen and you haven't yet registered, New York voter registration deadline is tomorrow. So if you want to vote, you're a U.S. citizen and you want to vote in the upcoming election, you haven't registered yet, you've got to get yourself up to the voter registration office and register because tomorrow is the deadline. If you live in New Jersey, the deadline to register to vote is October 13th. Very important. So if you're a U.S. citizen, you and your family should make a plan to vote. Your friends, this is going to be one of the most important elections that we've had in many, many years. So very important. Okay, next. The U.S. has a visa lottery. Every year, people can file to get a green card, and people who are not familiar with this say, this is crazy. They have a visa lottery. Well, yes, they have a visa lottery, and 55,000 people each year can get immigrant visas. Now, unfortunately, the visa lottery does not cover Jamaica, but if somebody from Jamaica is married to somebody not from Jamaica, they can qualify together for the visa lottery. Now, the visa lottery starts October 7 and runs to November 10, and it would be a good idea if you're not born in Jamaica or you are born in Jamaica, but you're married to somebody who's not from Jamaica, consider filing for the visa lottery. And if you want to get in touch with PPID, we can help you. We can talk to you about the visa lottery, and you can call us for free consultation. So remember, visa.
What other countries, Alan, sorry to interrupt you, that are not qualified in the Caribbean?
There are a few countries that are not qualified, countries that have high immigration in the United States. So therefore, India, not qualified, China, not qualified. There are a few other countries, but since most of the people on this program listening are from Jamaica, Jamaica does not qualify, but very important. If you're from Jamaica and you're married to somebody who's not from Jamaica, you can file for both of you can file for the visa lottery. So
what about Trinidadians and Guyanese and
exactly. And so it's October 7th to November 10th. We will be happy to help you with that. Just get in touch with us, and Squeeze will tell you about how you can call for a free consultation. Be happy to talk to you about the visa lottery. Okay, next. If you have a removal proceeding scheduled, cases where you're not, people who are not detained or not being held by immigration and do not have an announced date yet, they're on hold till October 23rd. So you haven't noticed, you're going to have a removal proceeding. If you don't have a date yet, you're not going to, the date is not going to be until after October 23rd.
Alan, if I could just interrupt for a sec.
Right ahead.
That date has been pushed out every 2 weeks. They've been pushed since the pandemic began. So previous to October 23rd, it was October 1st. Before that, it was September 15th. So my guess is they're going to continue to push it out through the rest of this year. That's what I'm hearing. So if you have a hearing scheduled in New York anytime the rest of 2020, odds are you're not having that hearing.
Correct. Okay. Now we talked about the visa lottery. Filing fees. The next thing is this, that we've been talking about immigration raising their filing fees, in some cases significantly, like 84% for people who are going to be filing for citizenship. Now, there's been a court case that enjoins them from raising their filing fees. Now, what's going to happen, whether the administration is going to appeal or not appeal, but as of today, you can pay the regular previous filing fees. And if you get an application sent back to you asking for the new filing fees, that's a mistake on their part. It's a mistake on the mailing room at USCIS. So keep filing with the present filing fees and the present forms. When the filing fees go up, when and if they go up, there'll be new forms and new filing fees. But right now, government has been enjoined to put these filing fees in effect. What's going to happen now, whether they're going to probably appeal, and in the end, whether they will win and the injunction will be lifted or not. But at least as of today, you don't have to worry about paying the new filing fees. Okay, next, there is a form called the 944, which has to go in with applications for adjustment of status. That it's a very complicated form, it's a very important form. It relates to self-sufficiency. So after February 24, 2020, if you're filing after February 24th adjustment of status, you're going to be required to file the I-944. If USCIS receives an application for adjustment of status before October 13th, that doesn't have all the 944 information and documents and everything else, they'll send you a request for evidence and ask you to send it in. After October 13th, 2020, they will reject your application for adjustment of status if you don't put in the 944. It's a complicated form, probably best for you to call us. We'll give you the phone number, do a consultation. We can talk to you about the 944, but it's a very important form and requires a lot of information about self-sufficiency. So
interrupt that 944 form you're talking about. This has to do with the public charge. We've been talking about the public charge rule for a long time now, and there have been lawsuits back and forth about it, which stopped it from being implemented back in February. But unfortunately, the courts recently sided with the administration, allowing them to use this 944 form. Public charge, basically what that means is immigrants have to demonstrate that they're self-sufficient, that they can support themselves, that they're not going to come to the United States, get the green cards, and then go on welfare. That's the general idea. This administration has taken it upon itself to make it as difficult as possible for immigrants to prove that. to prove that they're self-sufficient. So what they've done, again, the public charge rule has existed for 100 years, more. But what they've done is they've made it extremely onerous and very difficult to satisfy the requirements to prove that you're not going to be a public charge. So previously, if you received welfare or food stamps or things like that, you'd have a problem. Now it's way beyond that. I mean, if you've been a recipient of public housing, vouchers, Mitchell Lama apartments, whatever, that's considered that you're on the public dole, and they can deny you for that. You need to supply tax returns. I'm not just talking about tax returns, I'm talking about certified tax returns from the IRS, credit scores, all kinds of crazy documentation to prove that you're not going to be going on government assistance. So it is extremely difficult. And, people out there that have been filing for adjustment of status, filing for their family on their own without lawyers, maybe you got away with it previously. This I-944 form is 19 pages long. I encourage all of you listening out there to go and take a look, Google that form and take a look at it and see what it looks like, all right? If you think you're going to be getting through that form without using a lawyer, then I wish you a lot of luck, because the lawyers I'm talking to, even lawyers are worried about this form, how complicated it is in completing it, all right? So again, I encourage everyone out there listening, go ahead and take a look. Google that I-940 form, self-sufficiency form, and see what it looks like, right? It's going to be
I-940 form, right?
Sorry?
That's the I-940 form.
944.
944.
I-944. Yeah.
And you took the words right out of my, Conrad, you took the words right out of my mouth, because you're really going to need a lawyer to do a 944.
That's even, like I said, even lawyers are going to struggle with it. And one good thing, getting back to politics, which, by the way, I apologize for getting on here late. I woke up late because I was, political junkie that I am. I was up watching the debates last night and stayed up to listen to everybody's commentary and so on. And one thing to note is that if Joe Biden becomes president, he's already said he's going to eliminate this ridiculous increase in difficulty of demonstrating self-sufficiency. The 944 form will go away if Trump loses. So if you don't have a reason, if you don't think you had a reason to vote before, if you have friends, relatives, neighbors, anybody that are immigrants that are looking to immigrate to this country, there's a reason for you to vote for Joe Biden, because he will eliminate this absurdly cruel new regulation that the government put in place, which, by the way, I assume that in terms of just digressing about the filing fees, I'm assuming the government hasn't appealed the ruling they lost about the increase in the filing fees, because our friend Stephen Miller, who is basically the immigration czar, all of these new rules are him. Donald Trump has no clue about any of this stuff. Right? This is all Stephen Miller, who trained at the knee or at the elbow of Jeff Sessions when he was a senator. These are the guys, and Jeff Sessions, of course, is the guy who oversaw the administration's policy of separating children deliberately. By the way, it just came out recently. There was an article in the Times the other day about they deliberately did it to discourage immigrants from coming here. That if you come, basically saying if you come with your kid, you're going to get separated. That was the idea behind that separation rule. I mean, we all knew that in the first place, but now it's been documented.
That's cruel, by the way.
What's that?
That is very cruel.
Tell me about it. But anyway, this is Jeff Sessions. And as I said, Jeff Sessions taught Stephen Miller everything he knows. Stephen Miller is the man behind all of these basically cruel and just terrible regulations that the Immigration Service has been coming down with of late. And, it's unfortunate that the guy just tested positive for COVID. And of course, we all wish him a speedy recovery. But this is the reason they haven't appealed the filing fee increases, because he's in the hospital or he's quarantining.
Well, they think they will lose anyway, so they haven't appealed it.
Once again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is Cruising with Kaye Sadler. Today's show is on immigration. If you are out there, this is a law firm that's backing this broadcast right here. The law firm's name is ppid, also known as Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. We're extending free immigration consultation, free immigration phone consultations, that is, to each and everyone who can make the phone call before the top of the hour. So if you're out there and you have an immigration question and you'd like it to be answered by an attorney off the air privately and confidentially, call this number now, 844-774-5400. 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Make that call, 844-774-3529. If you look on the screen as you watch us, you'll see that that number is by the attorney's name. Make sure you give them a call. Also, 844-PPID-LAW, same number. Call the law firm, get your immigration questions answered. It's very important. You will get that free consultation, and then you can choose to actually retain them. Yes, Alan.
We've been talking about the 944, and this is an email from an attorney, not in New York, but it's something you want to know about. And this attorney is saying, since the 944 is a hot topic for our clients, I want to let you know what type of questions my client was asked at today's family-based adjustment of status interview. Now, this is from Arizona, but it could be what's coming here. And these are some of the questions that the alien was asked concerning 944. 1, have there been any changes to your income since you filed your application? 2, have there been any changes to your assets since you filed your application? 3, have there been any changes to your health since you completed your medical exam? 4, do you have health insurance? 5, can I see proof of your medical insurance? 6, have you ever received public benefits like food stamps? 7, are you likely to receive public benefits in the future? 8, what's your highest level of education? 9, can I see your diplomas? 10, the petitioner was asked what she did for work and how long she was employed at her job. That's the person who sponsored the person who had the interview. And the beneficiary was asked about his plans for work and how will he put the education to use. So it's an illustration of how complicated this 944 is and what a pain in the neck it is. And it's going to give everybody a lot of hard time. So you best have a lawyer, at least when you go to the interview. And if you didn't do the 944, it's going to come up. Now, one more thing. We talked about the backlog in court cases and how it's been pushed back to October 23rd. Now, the current active immigration court backlog as of August 2020 has grown to 1,246,164. That's up 11% from the beginning of March when it was 1,122,000. Average waiting time waiting for your hearings have jumped 12% in the past 6 months. Cases currently in the queue waiting for a hearing have already been waiting an average of 26 months as of now, and may still have to wait years longer until the hearing is actually scheduled to occur. So that's what's going on as far as we are waiting for your court hearing, when you're going to be called for your hearing, and not good news.
There you go. There you
Fine.
go. Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, let's talk about naturalization. As far as naturalization is concerned, people who are eligible for naturalization have to pass an English language requirement and a civics test. If you're aged 50 or older at the time of naturalization, or 55 or older at the time you file for naturalization, you may be exempt from the English language requirement, but you'll still have to take the civics test.
Actually, Al, let me interrupt you. The rule is, in terms of requirements, and with regard to that particular requirement,
Yep.
if you're 55 years of age and have your green card for 15 years, or if you're 50 years of age and have your green card for 20 years, in those two instances, you don't have to speak. You still have to take the test in your own language, but you don't have to be fluent in English.
Now, if you are 65 or older, and you've been a permanent resident for at least 20 years at the time you file for naturalization, you will be given special consideration about the civics requirement. I interpret that to mean that the test for civics is going to be much simpler than the test that everybody else has to take. There's a list of questions that they will ask if you qualify as a 65-year-old, and we can get you that list, especially if you're consulting with us. Finally, what if you have a problem with English language, civics, you have some kind of medical disability? Well, there are provisions where you can go to a professional, a doctor, a psychologist, and get some kind of certificate, which if immigration will accept it, you'll be exempt from both the English and the civics requirements. It's a medical disability exception. It's a form N648. You can Google it, see the instructions, what's necessary, but you're going to need a professional, a medical doctor or psychologist to help you to try to get this medical disability exception in terms of citizenship. Okay.
Sure. There you go. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Alan E.K., one of the attorneys at PPID. I'm an immigration attorney with depth and well over 50 years of experience, I'm quite sure. All right. Make sure you reach out to him. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Getting some immigration questions now before we get to the top of the hour. Here's one that says, my husband and I entered the USA with immigrant visa and was supposed to receive the green card within 4 months. We just discovered that the card was sent and returned to the USCIS office because there was an issue in the address. We also discovered that the USCIS destroyed the cards because we didn't respond in time. Anyone can advise what we should do to resolve this issue in the fastest way?
There's a form called an I-90, which you will file for lost or never received card. And you can get it on, Google it, you can get it, we can help you do it. But that's the form to fill out if you never got your card and they destroyed it.
Got you. And I just want to remind everybody, just call the law firm, get that free phone consultation, and then just hire them to do all this work for you. So this way you don't have the back and forth losing your cards. You've got someone handling it. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Here's another question. Hi there. Is it allowed to request a translator for an interview if the applicant is not well versed with English language? Does this translator have to be from the U.S. Embassy or can be another person under request of the applicant?
Are they talking about a translator at the American consulate interview, or are they talking about a translator?
Sounds like a consulate.
Sounds like a consulate.
Okay. Normally, if you need a translator, let's just say the language, it's a Spanish language country, they'll use the translator from the consulate. Normally, they won't let you bring in somebody else because they have people that speak that language. So if you need a translator, they will supply a translator for you. Hopefully, the translator will be good because some of them are not very good. And maybe you want to try to have a friend or a relative listen in to the interview to see if the translator did a good job or not.
Got you. 844-774-3529, 844-774-3529. Another quick one here. Are the AOS, adjustment of status CR1 cases currently being processed?
Yes.
That was a quick answer. All right. All right. Hi. My H-1B petition was denied on September 24th and just now received a denial letter. I was on GAP, and I stopped working effective the 25th as soon as I checked my status. I am planning on changing my status to F2 in my 60 days grace period. My question is, do I need to include any document that I ended my employment on time? I have pay stub that says I worked until the 25th and experience letter that my company gave after getting the denial letter terminating my employment on the 24th.
The question is, F2. F2 is supposed to be the spouse of an F1. So you really mean changing to F2 because your husband or wife is an F1, or you'd mean changing to F1 student visa? That's one question, but there's some other questions to it. I'd like to see why it was denied. So we would like to see a copy of the denial notice to see if we can advise you, and that's something we can do on one of the free consultations we talked about.
Also, assuming that the person is accurate and is applying for an F2 as the spouse of a student, when you do that change of status, you're going to need to demonstrate that your spouse is an F1. So you're going to have to supply all the documentation proving that your spouse is in status, plus, of course, a marriage certificate, plus all the documentation showing you maintained your status. It's a lot of stuff to handle on your own. All right. And if you mess it up, you're going to be out of status, and then you're dead. Then there's nothing that you can do or anyone can do to help you. This is a case that you do not do yourself. You need to call a lawyer, and we happen to know a few good lawyers that handle this kind of stuff.
And
Yes, you guys, firm.
That's correct.
All right, 844-774-3529. Once again, it's brought to you obviously by ladies and gentlemen, you know, the law firm of Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico, need for you all to reach out to them. Once again, the number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Here's another one. Are there any update on reissuance of the expired F2A visas?
It's not clear what he means by reissue.
F2A is an immigrant visa classification, meaning permanent resident spouse or permanent resident spouse is applying for a husband or wife or a minor child under 21. It's not a visa, it's a visa classification. There is no expiration of that. Maybe what the person is talking about is the ban. All right, the ban is in effect. The ban does affect F2A cases, and the ban is in effect until the end of this year currently. And I will mention once again, as I've been, and I always do, if Trump is reelected, I can pretty much assure you that ban will be extended. All right, if Biden is elected, that ban will go away.
So it's good to go out and vote. If you have the right to vote, exercise it. All right.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're a citizen and you have the right to vote and you don't, then you know you get what you deserve. You know, that's just a fact. If you don't have enough motivation to get out there and vote this time around, then when? You know, this election is the most. Look, I'm not as old as these other guys on the program with me right now, but you know, this is by far the most momentous election in my lifetime. And I'm not just talking because I'm an immigration practitioner. I'm talking about because I have kids and they're going to have kids. And I'll have grandchildren someday, you know, and all the things that will happen if this guy gets another 4 years. I shudder to even think about what's going to be in this country. So if you're not voting this time around, you know, then you get what you deserve. That's my feeling on the subject.
Go. That's Conrad Pollack, the managing partner at the firm, ladies and gentlemen, speaking on his belief and what he believes in reference to this. And also, of course, the attorneys here are letting you know, you shouldn't really go out there and file your case yourself. And this is something that is about your status here in the United States. This is something that is very sensitive. And what I implore you to do is to reach out to the attorneys, just call them, get a free phone consultation. And then after that, hire them, retain them, let them do the dirty work for you. All right. That's the reason why they went to law school. That's the reason why they're proficient in their capacity. Let them do that for you. All right. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. 844-774-3529. Here's another quick one here before we get to the top of the hour to conclude. Hi, everyone. My question is, I am already a permanent resident here in the United States. My wife and I just got married. I am going to file a petition to my wife and my 5-month-old son. Upon filing, do I have to file for my son separately or just my wife? And then she will file for my son as a derivative.
When you
No.
file,
Go ahead, Alan.
when you file for your wife, the child is included in that petition. You don't have to do 2 different petitions. And right now, if your wife is here and she's in status, you may be able to file a petition and an application for adjustment of status at the same time. And therefore she'd get permission to work and permission to travel. So it's a good time to file now, but you really need a lawyer to do that. And we'll be happy to talk to you about it.
You know, the rule is on that, and it's not really logical. If you're a permanent resident, if you have a green card and you're applying for your spouse, that's an F2A case. And if you have a minor child together under 21, the child automatically is part of that case. Now, if you're a citizen, on the other hand, and you apply for your wife, then you have that same child, that minor child, you have to then apply for you have to submit a separate petition for the child. As a resident, the child accompanies. As a citizen, the child needs a separate petition, right? Now, if they're in the United States, as Alan said, permanent resident, that's an F2A category. That priority date is current right now. Normally, it's not. Normally, if you're in that situation, you cannot apply for adjustment of status because usually there's a backlog and there's a delay of 1 year or 2 or 3 years. Right now, there's no delay. So if you are married and you have a green card and you want to apply for your wife and you're all in the United States, you should be filing for adjustment of status immediately because the odds are you're not going to, a month from now, you might not be able to do it. The dates are going to change. They change every month. If you have a situation like that, you really should move it and quickly And that's when you need to call us, right? Because there are other considerations involved as well, of course. It's never as simple as it seems.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this about concludes what it is that we do here, okay, on immigration for today. We're reaching out to a lot of people to say, hey, call the law firm. If you have questions right now, the attorneys are getting off call. Reach out to one of them, set up a free phone consultation privately. So I implore everyone that's watching us on Facebook, that's listening to us on the radio, 93.5 FM, before you do anything, before you file that case, before you go down to Eastern Parkway on the corner or Gunnell Road, okay, or over there in Queens on Sutpin, all right, before you do all of that, before you listen to the pastor, before you listen to mom and dad and everybody out there who does not have what it is that Alan has over 5 decades and what Conrad has, of course, in immigration, make sure you call this number, 844-774-3529. Here we are extending to you a 100% free phone consultation, by which after that, you can make your own decision to actually go with them, hire them, retain them to handle and do the work. Ladies and gentlemen, the number once again to call now to get that free phone consultation, make it now, because I don't believe everything lasts forever. The number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. PPID is the name of the firm, Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. 844-774-3529. Make that call now. Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome, but I say reach out to PPID. The number, slowly, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. Have an amazing day.
It's 10 o'clock.
Right on point. All right, great show, gentlemen. I think I got one more question here before we conclude.
Okay.
And then we'll get into it. Well, maybe I went through them all. Yeah. I went through them all. Yep, we got them all. All right.
How many people listening?
1 second there. All right. But thanks to each and everybody out there for tuning in. Of course, Alan wants to know how many people are tuning in. The hundreds and the thousands have tuned in over the past months. You know, he loves numbers. He's a numbers guy. Speaking about number, remember the number, 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529. And let's make Alan happy by you. Make sure you share this with everyone that you know on Facebook. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in.